My personal feeling about being an EV driver is it's awesome. And I think if you speak to a lot of EV drivers, you will hear this same thing. I'm never going back. I'm never going back. And I think actually the reason for that is because when I wake up every morning, so think of starting my day, and I'm lucky, by the way, because I have a driveway, so I can charge at home. But I wake up every day, my car is completely refueled and ready for the day ahead. So I've got full range. Now, that almost feels like someone's magically come along in the night and stuck a load of petrol or diesel in my car, which is a wonderful thing. And just that as a sort of core thing is really useful for me, because I never have to worry about going to a petrol station. I never really enjoyed doing that anyway. I'm sure a lot of people do, but so that was a really really good base sort of line thing for me. Weirdly, one of the weird things for me when I started driving EVs was I didn't realise I was going to start becoming so considerate as a driver, because one of the things you really have to think about, or don't have to think about, but you tend to think about because the information's there, is as an EV driver, you're always thinking about your range and the amount of miles that you can do per kilowatt. And I find that I'm a much slower, more considerate driver than I've ever been. Not that I was ever terrible, but I certainly find now that when I'm driving around, I absolutely think about the speed I'm driving, and how I'm driving. And that's a really interesting byproduct of driving a vehicle. It's no different to any other vehicle really, but it's made me think about the way I drive. Obviously, in terms of driving an EV, it's a really great feeling as well, knowing that there's no emissions coming out of the exhaust of that vehicle. And I think that's really important. When you think about the emissions, I think the number is something like 26% of carbon emissions comes from transport. So the more people that get into this space, the more we can reduce that, the better for the planet. And then I guess there's two other things. One, which is everyone's going to say it, but as a company car driver, I save a load of money right now through the benefit in kind that's there, which is really really good for me, and definitely incentivise me to get into an EV long term. But one of the things that people may not think about, which is a byproduct of charging on the go, is about I've driven to so many interesting places now and parked up and charged my car. I always tell the story of parking up at in the New Forest at a beautiful hotel called the Rhinefield House Hotel. I'm parked there. There's a field next to me with deer running through it, and it's just like a wonderful thing. So it's amazing how many places you go to, and because there's a dwell time, you end up doing something else. So having wonderful meals or snacks or drinks or whatever that looks like, it's again made me take the time and build the time into my journey, which is good for me. It gives me the rest, and also has made me see lots of interesting places.